All right, so this is my journey to becoming a better person, part two. And today I'm gonna just speak on my moment of clarity that I realized a lot of my past problems was my fault. And I'm not saying this in a way to like put myself down or anything like that. But looking back at the things that I've done and the opportunities I missed out on, a lot of it had to do with me not being agreeable. And what I mean by that is I never stuck onto one plan. Every time I faced some sort of adversity and whatever I was doing, I always backed out. I always try to find an excuse. I just simply couldn't stay in that like in within those plans anymore. And man, I had this idea for these past few months that yeah, maybe it was me, but then I was also contemplating on the fact that a lot of things could play into it. It could be other people's circumstances, it could be just things that ain't supposed to flow right. But a lot of the times I'm realizing now was that a lot of things messed up because of my own insecurities, of my own overthinking. And you know I don't have no regrets on it, because if these mistakes didn't weren't made, I wouldn't be the man I am today. I wouldn't have this clarity. So I'll still be stuck in that limbo or that oblivious mindset. And so the saying, I don't know who I heard say this. I believe it was Jay-Z. He said everything doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. And so that clarity came about today because I realized it made me understand life even more. That things aren't supposed to happen to you for a reason. Sometimes we look back at life and we try to like not pay attention, or not to pay attention, but not to put the blame on ourselves, or try to visualize a different scenario, but that's not how the thing happened. And to even look back at the past is to look at something that doesn't exist anymore. I feel like the past is only something that could be used to not repeat the same mistakes. And I was always oblivious to my past because I never thought that it was my fault or my problem. But then over the course of times, the same mistakes keep on happening. The same mistakes keep on happening. There has to be a point where you just look at yourself. Where I looked at myself and I was like, shit, maybe I'm the problem. And that lit up a light bulb. And I'm glad that I was able to see things through clearly. I'm glad that I'm no longer pointing fingers at everybody else instead of myself. Because you know what it is to finally realize that a lot of the things that's happened to me, or a lot of things that I've done, is simply a situation that wasn't even that serious. But in my mind, I made it like 10 times more serious than what it was. And so I learned that, going back to the agreeable thing that I was talking about, I decided to just put my faith in something, whether it be God, whether it be a friend that I'm talking to giving me advice, whether it be a new plan that I got scheduled for me in order for me to continue on progressing as a better person, to just stick onto it and have faith in it for at least one time, for at least a year. Just stick to one plan. And you know, it relieved me of so much frustration and stress and even depression, because my issue was that I felt like I had no value whatsoever. I felt like I didn't have meaning in this world. And, you know, I believe that that mindset was because of the transitional period of myself not playing video games anymore, doing things differently than what I used to, than what I used to do, taking accountability of a lot of things. All those things put in one, it was getting me to feeling like that. And so the more I started to see myself in a way where I'm taking these actions to become a better person, the more clarity I had over time. And today was a good day because I was able to sit down and realize that it's all on me. It's all me. Everything that's happened to me, everything that I've done that could have done better, everything all ties back to me because it's just on how I reacted. And I reacted to those things in a certain those in those ways because I didn't have that clarity. I didn't have that idea that maybe I was wrong because I wasn't agreeable, wasn't agreeable. And I decided to sit down and really look at myself, reflect on how many opportunities I missed because of that, because I didn't stick to one plan. And so the goal now today and for the next upcoming days is to stick to that plan, to stick to what I believe will make me a better person. Running, I enjoy. I mean, nobody enjoys running, but it's a form of exercise that it's easy for me to be consistent in. I'm practicing on becoming a better cook, doing things that I never used to do before, that I'm holding myself to a certain standard in order for me to be more consistent in those areas. And I'm also loving it. I'm also experiencing the world, stepping outside, trying new things, because I'm realizing now that when I was on the game, when I was distracting myself from my own mind, it didn't do nothing for me. It didn't. All it did was just enforce my fear to assume that running away from it was the right thing to do. But ain't no running away from anything in life when you want to face it. It's impossible. And now I'm starting to see where real confidence lies, real courage lies. And it's all based on just believing in yourself, sticking to that one plan, and believing in that plan cold heartedly, being consistent with it. Stop not letting other factors in your life destroy what you're trying to do, because this is my journey. And if I don't respect my journey, who will? So, this is one thing that I got to say to everybody before I end this video. Stick to one plan. Be a little bit more agreeable. A lot of us, we're in a state of mind where it's like, we can do many things. And of course, I'm not knocking nobody who assumes that. I really believe anybody could do it, whatever they want. But you really have to focus on one thing, stick to that one plan in order for you to progress. Because how would you know how good you really are in a certain field until you really put all of your effort in? So that's all I have to say, man. Stick to that one plan, be consistent, put all your effort, and you know, the past is the past. You can always become better. Be easy.